Welcome back. Hey, today, look, the housing market is hot. We all know that, right? And if you're going to have a realtor represent you or help you find a home or help you sell your home, this is your man right here, Brian Beatty. And no, he's not Warren Beatty or Ned's little brother. Could be, you never know. So you're with C21 affiliated.
Yes. Century 21 affiliated, based out of Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois. We're in 6 states currently, hundreds of offices, actually the largest Century 21 franchise in the world. But I'm here in the Clearwater market and tied to the Tampa market.
Okay, I'm gonna flat out ask you this question.
Sure.
What makes you different and better than all the other real estate agents? Because it seems like to me, everybody gets frustrated with their job. I'm gonna just go be a realtor.
Well, and there's been a lot of that since the pandemic. People that got sent home for work were non-essential, and they saw real estate on fire, and we were essential. A lot of people went out and got a real estate license. We've seen the inventory go to the lowest level ever in this area. So supply and demand is really what's driving this market. And I would say that what I've learned, we have a lot of agents that'll run out, show a house, not qualified people. What we do is more of an advisor. We're going to sit down. We have buyer consultations. We have seller consultations. We have people that come to us for advice, and we try and be not that one-dimensional transactional real estate group. We're more of a advisor. I think the biggest problem in our industry is really the transactional agents that are out there looking for you to buy or sell.
Right.
We have so many resources available to homeowners, renters, people that want to buy, people that need to transition, to relocate, that you can use this as a resource that doesn't cost anything.
Right.
And so many people don't do that.
When we were talking, and before we were coming on the show, I love the fact that you sit down with that client and you really get to know their needs, their wants, that whole world before you just take on the world of, let me go find you a house or let me sell your house.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing I tell people. It's not my house to buy. You have to tell me this is the house you want to purchase, and then we'll do everything we can to negotiate the best terms, right? And we're seeing people do, I always tell them, everybody's doing stupid and ridiculous things right now. You don't have to unless you want to. And I would say one of the big problems in our industry is the clients, whether they're buyers or sellers, they don't get options.
Right.
And they don't get educated on what all of their options are, because most of the time when they're not getting those options, they're being led to just get to the closing table for that transaction.
That's not good. Now, you showed me this earlier, and I loved it. And what a great selling tool. Thinking of selling, you can introduce several agents or just contact our group, giving you options. And then you look at it on the back, that's the options.
Right.
I mean, that is fantastic.
Yeah. So it's very simple. It's very cut and dry. I think the problem with people that want to sell a home, they're always nervous about calling an agent or several agents because they really just don't know. Are we going to, is this a discount broker? Is this somebody that's going to require a premium? The reality is the number one rule in real estate is everything's negotiable, right?
Right.
And I probably would venture to say that everybody that hires a real estate agent, realtor, advisor, whatever you want to call us, one of the best things you're looking for is to be a negotiator.
Right.
And so many people come in, agents will come in and have just one option.
Right.
This is what we do. This is what we offer. And maybe you're not good with that. So then you interview 7 other agents to find, I really like the option over here.
Right.
But a lot of times they're not mentioning all these options that are available because it's just not what they want to do.
Right.
I tell people we give you options so that you can decide what's best for you. And it's the same thing on the buyer side. We have options at every step of the transaction. So if it's not what you want to do, you shouldn't do it.
Right. So we skimmed over the Ally Advisor Group.
Yeah.
Really, what behind what really is the driving force there?
So the driving force is, people see the name and they'll say, "Hey, who's Allie?" And I say,
Yeah.
"Well, it's Ally." I kind of, it's a play on words that an ally is a friend or a partner.
Right.
An advisor is somebody that, you trust to give you advice
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. And a group is obviously a team or a group of people that have a common bond and a common goal. And ours is really to be your friend in the real estate business, educate you, and make sure that you know all options available at every step of your transaction. And not to leave you after a transaction. So
right. Yeah, but thanks for using me. I'm
Yep.
gone now. And then you never hear from that person again until you hear they sold their house and are
Yeah.
like, why didn't you talk to me, man?
I think the biggest thing that a lot of agents forget is that, you help somebody buy, there's other stuff that we can advise them on.
Right.
Do you have life insurance? You're married. Yeah, if one spouse dies, the house goes to your spouse. But what happens if you both die in a car accident? What's there, right? So is the will, testament, trust, whatever. And this is all stuff that doesn't cost us any, or
Right.
we don't charge for. But we would connect you with the right people to make sure you're protecting your asset.
Right.
Right? And I think it's the easiest analogy is I think people don't use us until they're ready to transact. And I would equate it to most everybody out there has a retirement plan, right? And with that retirement plan, they probably have a financial advisor that they're sitting down. Well, they're probably getting monthly statements from,
Right.
at least. And then if they have a good financial planner, they're sitting down at least once a year talking about their exit plan from their work life, right? But nobody uses a real estate advisor for that. They don't get we have the ability to give you every 2 weeks an automated
Market
report,
analysis,
from the MLS that just comes out, tells you what's happening in your neighborhood. It can be set up for every 2 weeks, every month. And then ideally, you should be sitting down with an advisor once a year to say, okay, our exit plan is 5 years out. We plan on downsizing. We
Right.
plan on upsizing. We plan on relocating. But, we've got a tax return coming back. Where would the money be best served to put in, knowing that we're going to leave in 5 years, right? So that, I think, is something people don't leverage enough.
I've never heard. You know what? You're the first real estate agent I've ever heard talk about that.
Well, my background is 24 years in the plumbing and remodeling industry, and I became an agent 4 years ago
Right.
because my knees were wore out, my back's wore out. I was getting close to 50, which I am now, and I said, what am I going to do that's going to allow me to work to retirement?
Right.
And I'd been a real estate investor. I have rentals, have had rentals. When we had the plumbing business, before we sold it in Chicago to move down, we worked a lot with real estate agents, flippers, all that kind of stuff to get people into, homes, purchase cycles or to sell, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I was very heavily involved with the, real estate, even in the plumbing industry.
Yeah, you kind of see the trends, what's
Yes.
going on. Yeah. So we've only got 2 minutes left.
Well,
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
It is, quick.
So most realtors that I know of
Mm-hmm.
have a website and maybe a Facebook. Bro, you are everywhere.
So we have, if you look up Brian Beatty, PLLC, you'll find me everywhere with Century 21 affiliated. Ally Advisor Group, we have a big social media presence. The easiest thing I can tell people, if you want to connect with me, do www.uppertampabayhomes.com. It's a simple landing page. You give us your information. Tell us whether you're buying or selling.
Right.
And it's an automated email that's going to be sent to you to say, what's important to you. And then we're going to get you on schedule to sit down and have those important discussions.
That's awesome.
And even if you're a renter out there and your plan is to become a homeowner, get the plan in place, right? So it either starts with the real estate advisor or a lender. So ideally, that's really our starting point with most of our clients.
What's the best way for people watching to get a hold of you?
So through the uppertampabayhomes.com website is a great one. They can always call or text 727-242-0042. That is my personal cell phone number. If I don't answer, I'm with a client or in a meeting, but I return all my phone calls or text messages as quick as I can. I can tell you that my clients and even the other agents I work with, I'm very responsive between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
What area do you cover in the Tampa Bay area?
So Clearwater, St. Pete, well, really the upper Tampa Bay area is my market.
Okay.
The countryside, West Chase, so I tell people West Chase to the Gulf Coast is my primary area, but we can help people all over.
All right, so if you're just looking, thinking, what if I want to move? This is the guy to give a call, right? Call Brian. He'll take good care of you. We'll be right back after this short message